chess friends, the latest Stockfish 17 beta, an impressive chess engine with 280 threads and 120 depths, is making waves. Today I have an exciting chess game with the Torch chess engine from chess.com, and I've also discovered a new chess opening that I can't wait to share. Let's jump right in. I started the game with e4, we have French defense normal variation, you can go with knight d2, knight c3 or e5, our new chess opening hides in knight d2 move, and after 2 moves Torch strikes the center with c5. He aims to secure substantial space in the center while naturally developing his pieces, so after center exchanges I moved up my bishop, knight c6 castle, if black captures it then just recapture it with knight b3, so Torch decided to push the pawn on c4, rook e1, and black have the option to bring out the bishop or the knight. If knight f6 happen then just sacrifice the knight on c4, takes, black played bishop e7, d5, and the knight have less square to go. Knight a5 to target it, then just push the d pawn, black have no choice here, he have to capture the bishop, rook takes check, king here, bishop ups, the black's position is completely restricted, queen d3, knight g5 are the future moves to consider, bishop e6 by black, looks like the rook is in vain, but first we will kick out the knight, c4 to play c5, and knight g5 can come anytime to destroy you, rook to c8, knight g5, due to the passivity of the black pieces, black has to develop his rook. Captured queen e2 to target the pawn and then the checkmating square, e5 takes knight c8 to target it, but we will add another pressure on e-file, takes bishop takes f6 to pin the knight, black can't capture it because of d takes e7, this position is already destructive for black. Life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not, so back to the position, if you decided to move out the bishop then we will sacrifice the knight anyway to play d5, no matter where the knight will go, bishop, d3 check will destroy you, bishop here and white gets his material back, knight ups d6 and that's it, you are gonna lose the bishop on e7, so in this position, Torch played bishop e7, knight takes c4 takes d5, I have the open rook file and the great pawn position on d5. If knight a5 happen then after bishop, d2 b6 knight e5, threatening to capture the knight to consider knight c6, targeting both of the nonsense, king runs bishop h5 to target it, g6 d6, bishop takes bishop f3 rook here and we will sacrifice the bishop on b4, well, black can't capture it because the bishop is pinned to the queen, knight b5 takes knight takes pawn to add pressure to the innocent guy, rook here knight takes bishop to play knight b7 discover check, king g7 knight e8, check. King runs bishop f8, we will bombard the king with full pieces attack to checkmate black with the queen. This is our new chess opening of Tarish variation French. You can analyze different lines from this position, if I do. Then the video will be long. Anyway, Torch played knight a7, bishop takes c4, and 200 elo rated players are thinking of playing castle, but things are not so easy because d6 knight g5 along with the bishop attack on f7, can destroy you. Let me show you the variation, knight f6 e6, the bishop intact, castle d takes e7, lol, the position becomes completely dead lost for black, so in this position, Torch unpinned the bishop with king f8, here I could go with knight e5. Black can choose knight development or b5 move, but his position will be completely dead lost after he plays b5, queen f3 to target it, knight blocks, d6 target the rook and the f7 pawn. If you save the rook, and how can you save the queen from the knight attack? Okay, queen b6, what about pawn takes check? And black position is completely dead lost, I will get a pass pawn on e7 and black's king is in a terrible condition. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile, so in this position if black captures the pawn then I will win up the rook simply. Here, if you decided to develop the knight on f6, then we will capture the f7 pawn. King takes f7 d6 check, king f8 d takes e7 will end up your king-queen friendship, so back to our current game, I didn't play knight e5, instead I choose bishop f1, knight f6 c4 king here bishop f4, developing the bishop isn't worthwhile since black king and the rook is very passive. White is threatening to play d6, for this reason Torch played bishop b4, bishop d2 takes and he developed his bishop, queen f4 bishop g6 and I pushed the h-pawn, my intention is to play knight e5 rook d1 then push the g-pawn to play h5, h6 g4 g5, knight runs before and after. Couple of moves later we have rook e1, queen slides queen d4, knight f8 and I played a4, making a strong structure to push the d-pawn. I am still down a knight but this pawn structure is gonna destroy black. King backs a5 knight e5. Targeting to the pawn and I want to play d6, queen f4 can target to the pawn. Another strategy is to play rook e7 after playing d6. OK, Torch responded with knight f6, takes d6, rook e8 queen c5 to target the pawn. Bishop a4 isn't the best move as it will lose control over the kingside diagonal, therefore I will utilize the diagonal with bishop f5, play rook e7 g6, queen d4 to target the pawn. There are many chess tactics to consider. So king g7 rook ups and after some moves later I offer him for a queen trade. The game is completely in my favor. Black can't do anything because I have to connect it past pawns. Few moves later I pushed the c-pawn, rook to d1 bishop goes to d5, I am threatening to play d5 then after rook d8 I will capture the knight, takes rook d6 to capture the bishop, takes and b7, the rook can't able to stop me from promoting my one pawn, which is why Torch played knight b7. Now enjoy the game with my beautiful piano music. So wish you all the best, thanks for watching, subscribe for more, bye bye, take care, see you soon.